Good evening, and welcome to another long-awaited version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your lackadaisical and lackluster host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Alright, I'm going to do another diatribe and finish up my series on the 3,000 possibilities in one life moment, and do a few snippets and snappets. I wanted to read you something. I do cryptograms and other puzzles to keep my mind sharp. I do them with pen, and I try not to make any mistakes. But sometimes something comes up that was meant to happen because I thought I finished this particular book, but I found a few cryptograms I didn't do. Now, listen to this. This is a quote from somebody. "The public has an insatiable curiosity to know everything, except what is worth knowing. Journalism, conscious of this and having tradesman-like habits, supplied their demand." You would think that would be Ambrose Bierce, but no, it was Oscar Wilde. Probably 1890 or somewhere around in there. So things haven't changed a whole lot in 130 years. But I thought it was interesting that I should do a cryptogram and that should come up. The public has an insatiable curiosity to know everything except what is worth knowing. Journalism, conscious of this and having tradesman-like habits, supplied their demand. That's journalism today. Bunch of tripe, bunch of nonsense, harping about distractions and either reporting without any success of any result on corruption and war and pestilence, or reporting that it's all a pack of lies. So, without further ado, I don't want to get into that right now. I'm a little pissed. I don't know if I want to watch the news much more because I'll tell you later. I'll finish up this 3,000 worlds. So we call it the 3,000 worlds. It's any given moment in your life or any entity's existence, there are 3,000 possibilities. So we already talked about the 10 worlds: hell, hunger, animality, anger, humanity, heaven, learning, realization, bodhisattva, Buddhahood. The 10 main worlds. All mutually inclusive. You can go from one world to the other. 10 times 10. All containing the 10 factors of appearance, nature, entity, power, influence, internal cause, relation, latent effect, manifest effect, and consistency from beginning to end. And I could go more into these 10 factors because it's very important to understand, but I want to tell you, we reached 1,000. How do you reach 3,000? Because we have to apply all these worlds, all these possibilities to the 3 realms of existence. And what are they? Alright, all life consists of the 10 factors and manifests the 10 worlds. The principle of the 3 realms of existence further analyzes life at 3 different levels and explains the distinctive character of individual life forms. The 3 realms are the realm of the 5 components, which make up your conscious life, the realm of living beings, and the realm of the environment. Now, I'll explain these a little bit more carefully because it's very important to understand this, and I still don't understand it. And I've read through these concepts hundreds of times, and I'll have to read them again because I'm going to have to teach everybody after the conflagration, and there's not going to be mass media or anything like that. There's going to be oral transmission of lore, of knowledge. Back to the cave. So, The realm of the five components. An analysis of the functions of life in influencing and assimilating its surroundings. The five components are form, perception, conception, volition, and consciousness. Form is the physical aspect of life. It includes everything that constitutes the body and its organs through which one perceives the outer world. Can't do it without organic matter, gray matter, ears, eardrums, eyes, eyeballs. The perception, which is the second component of the five components, means the function of receiving or apprehending external information through one's sense organs. I perceive that hat looks cool on me. Conception indicates the function by which life grasps and forms some idea or concept about what he has been perceiving. So conception from perception. I perceive my hat as good looking, and I conceive that I will go out wearing this hat and not be made fun of. The fourth is volition. Very important. Volition is one of the most important things to me because I have none. Volition is the will to initiate some sort of action following the creation of conception about some perceived object. I'll read this again because everybody on this planet should understand this. And if they did, we wouldn't have wars or we wouldn't have political corruption. Volition means the will to initiate some sort of action following the creation of conceptions about some perceived object. And if you're thinking in terms of the 10 factors, you're thinking about your immortal karmic, let's call it soul. Let's call it your life continuum. If you do bad things, you're going to get bad effects. Cause and effect happen simultaneously within, but the manifestation may take a while. It may not even happen in this lifetime. So what you do is very important. I can talk, I can have the idea of enlightenment, I can perceive and conceive of the idea of being enlightened, but without action, it's meaningless. What am I going to do about it? Well, I'm doing diatribes, okay? I think I'm doing at least something. I've written a few plays. I play music. I write songs. There's all kinds of things you can do of your own volition. You can help the poor. You can go to an old folks home and volunteer. You can start a clothing drive. You can do all manner of things to help the world. You can try to improve yourself. That's volition. I am going to stop smoking Swishers once and for all, and I do it. That's my own volition. Very important. People should understand this in order to live correctly. Now, that's the first realm of existence, is the five components. I'll tell you them again. Oh, the fifth one is consciousness. That means the subjective entity supporting and integrating the other four components. Take the perception, conception, volition, and it creates a conscious, here's what I'm going to do, here's how I'm going to do it, here's why I'm going to do it. It is simple in some ways, but it's not. Consciousness means the subjective entity, which is a human being or a rock or anything, supporting and integrating the other four components, as well as the discerning function of life which can make value judgments. What can I do to create more value on this planet rather than create more havoc, create less value? Do I decide to push somebody into the subway tracks? Or do I help an old lady across the street? You take your choice. What has more value? So those are and then that's the first realm. The second realm is the realm of living beings. That's very simple. It's society. It's your relationship with other of your kind, whether they be human or whether they just look like humans and you don't know what the hell they are, but you have to interact with them. People like Petri Dish and Nadler and Schiff, you really don't know if they're humans, but they are part of the fabric of our society. The third realm is the realm of the environment. Where do you live? What are your surroundings? Do you live on the North Pole? Do you live in the Sahara Desert? Do you live in Nome, Alaska? Or do you live in the Brazilian rainforest? That's going to dictate your life condition. You have a completely different life if you are in the inner jungles of Brazil than if you live in Helsinki. Pick any two places. The environment is going to make a difference in your life. Now there you have it. I've given you the 3,000 possibilities. And I would love to give you really salient and brilliant examples of how we can apply those, but it's very difficult to just do. But if you really think about it, you can decide, what world am I in right now? Am I in the world of humanity? Am I in the world of learning? Am I in the world of realization? Did a light bulb go off in my head? And then suddenly the phone rings and gives me some bad news that they're about to foreclose on my house. So I'm in the world of anger? Or can I go a few days without having any food and be in the world of hunger? Hunger is not just food, it's avarice. Now, we have the 10 factors. I've already told you that. It's very confusing, but you need to understand it. Appearance, form, appearance, physical. Nature, your mind, your attitudes, entity. Appearance and nature make up an entity, but an entity also manifests appearance and nature. So that's, you got to think about that. Power, influence, internal cause. I make a cause inside. Relation, which is the relationship between cause and effect, which happens automatically, simultaneously in your inner being. Latent effect, which is something that happens in your inner being that gives way to more causes. And then manifest effect, the actual outcome, your reward or your punishment, the karmic reward. And then the consistency from beginning to end. And then you put that in the 3 realms of existence of the 5 components, the society and the environment. Just gave you 3,000 or at least 1,500 years of knowledge in about 13 minutes. So think about that. Now, why do I not want to watch the news anymore? I'm sick of it. They've already, it's bastardized, and everything's information. They're railing against disinformation. They want to have some overseer of truth. They tell you all this stuff is disinformation, so you don't want to believe anything anymore. And even if they give you evidence in front of your eyes, what difference does it make? Petri Dish is corrupt to the bone. He gets bribes. His no-account son has made millions, and then he doesn't want to acknowledge that he had a kid out of wedlock and doesn't want to pay child support. And Petri doesn't want to acknowledge the kid. So he can talk a big game about anything. Integrity, morals, democracy, scum. In fact, I don't want to put down scum. So let's just say he's below scum. Lowest form of matter in this universe should be dealt with as such. That's why I'm getting sick of the news, and that's why I haven't done as many diatribes, because I could reel on and on about everything. My kid's going to go in the army in 10 days. And I said, it's too bad you weren't a cross-dresser, because you'd probably move up in the ranks faster. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, check the news. So the military is on a completely different track. They want to recruit by hook or crook. And the way to do it is not to get people who are interested in martial arts, but to get people who are interested in singing "I Enjoy Being a Girl" at the local pub. So, nothing against that. Why would I have anything against that? I have nothing against that, but I think if you're going to be warriors, be warriors. And don't try to attract people just to attract them. So, I've said enough already. I've said more than people could possibly comprehend, so I'll leave it there. And I'll get back to my usual ranting and raving and raging and absolute apoplectic fury later, because I'm sure I'll have a reason to. The weekend's coming up. World War III is on its way, if it's not happening already, and the economy's about to crash. So we can look forward to that. So enjoy the rest of what time we have left. Good night.